Thank you, Greg. Thank you, sponsors and VIPs. I want to make one thing clear. Thank you very much. I want to make one thing very clear. It is so good that you are here. The reason being, the first step in the management of diabetes and living with diabetes is educating yourself about diabetes. Learning more every day. There's new information about diabetes and how to change your lifestyle to live longer with something we call better quality of life. I'm from Monash University and I have my own practice, but I do a lot of work with applied clinical psychology to help people put things into practical solutions. So I've got some slides and I've got very little time to talk to you, but I want you to look at the slides because I'm going to refer to the slides, okay? The first slide is, of course, this one. You know, we're going to be talking about moving from denial to acceptance. This slide talks about the kind of signs that you have when someone is in denial. Have you heard things like, what's the big deal now? My sugar went up a little bit. Huh? Why can't I eat one more kesari or one more char siu pao or one more, nasi lemak? So what's the big deal? I don't feel any different anyway. Die lah. You only live once, so let's nicely hammer everything and die. And diabetes, come on. It's not like I have cancer, so why should I do anything about it? But diabetes is one of the diseases that actually causes more complications over the lifespan than cancer. Cancer will kill you very quickly if you don't do something about it. Diabetes will kill you very, very slowly, and you don't even realize it's there inside you. And so many things will happen to you. Your doctors will tell you it is what we call multifaceted invasion of pathology, diseases inside you. Now, it's okay to be in denial, my friends. It's okay to say, what? I've got diabetes. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No, forget it. Let me I don't have diabetes. How can la? Now, my story is, I've got the opposite of diabetes. I've got hypoglycemia. And that sometimes can be more dangerous. My father's got diabetes. My aunties all had diabetes. My mother-in-law died from complications of diabetes with cancer. So, diabetes is a real thing in all our lives. And as Dato said, it's a reality in all Malaysians' lives. The most important thing really is prevention is better than cure, as they say. So please remember and pass it along to your schools, your grandparents here. All the grandparents here, you guys sometimes are the biggest culprits, huh? You give your children sweet. This is not the Colgate advertisement, But you give them sweet, and you kickstart them into a diabetic loop. But give them sweet and make them run a mile. Very good. That can be done too. But denial is okay. There is a researcher called Elizabeth Kubler-Ross who talks about grief, the problems you have when you're told that you're going to die or when someone dies. And these are the 5 stages. Now, mind, the 5 stages are denial. What? I've got cancer? I've got diabetes? And then you said, oh, how could this happen to me, man? In fact, when I had my first, only one heart attack, I had a heart attack, and I never knew it was there. I never knew my cholesterol was so high. And the minute I had the heart attack and I came out of hospital, I got very angry with my mother and father. I said, didn't you know you shouldn't be giving us so much meat when we were young? And you know what my mom and dad said? We didn't know. They just didn't know. It's not their fault. And they didn't know that hypercholesteremia was in our family already. So denial, getting angry is fine. Then you say, like now, you will bargain. Some of you will bargain with your family members saying, hey, no need to do every day finger prick. Do another day Let not 3 days go. I'm still okay. I'm feeling fine. Do next week No, must do first thing in the morning, mom or grandpa. No, let's do it a bit later. All this bargaining stuff will start, It's not about death saying, God, why me, God? Well, even in diabetes, you might say, how can this happen to me? What can I do to take this away? And we go through all these kind of phases. Then slowly, but surely, in fact, from denial, there is an important thing in our business. Your mood will change. Your mood will change for two reasons, my friend. Your mood will change because now you have a disease that could kill you. The second reason is you have a disease that's going to change your lifestyle. The other reason is the sugar in your blood is affecting the function of the brain. It's just like your brain, if you drink a lot of alcohol, your brain behaves differently, right? Similarly, with sugar on the brain, it has different effects on all the hormones that control mood as well. So there's a lot of things you must remember because you will go through depression. That is fine. Some of you, in some cases, we actually give you antidepressants if you need it, but you must recognize it first. Many people, about 80%, don't need antidepressants. But one of the things that happens when you're given the diagnosis of diabetes is, oh my goodness, and it comes in your dreams, it comes in your mood, you want to die, you say no point living anymore, how can I not have isang, how can I not have char kway teow, I've got to give up all the nasi lemak, so you'll feel all these sad things in your life, Then slowly, hopefully, you will say, okay lah, I accept the fact that I've got this, now let's change. And the grandchild will come to you and say, Grandpa, I don't want your chocolate anymore because if you give me, I'm going to die and you're going to die. Slowly you'll begin to accept things over time. But you must, if you ever want to start to change your lifestyle with regard to diabetes, you must say, right, I've got diabetes, now what? Now what? That's all you have to say. And that's the way I dealt with my heart attack and so many other things I had in my life. I've nearly died 4 times, pronounced dead once as well. So I wake up from this and say, right, what's the next step? I'm not going to sit there and say, no. Okay, please don't. You must move to the fact that acceptance means one thing for all of us. When you accept what you have, you begin to take control over your life. I accept it, I have it, now what can I do with the help of everybody else? Diabetes cannot be controlled by doctors. Diabetes cannot be controlled by medicines. Diabetes is primarily controlled by you, your behavior, with the help of medicines and doctors. So diabetes management and living with life with diabetes is in here, not just the medicines. You have to actually be part of it and you must be in charge of it. Very important. See what, if you stay in denial, and not move towards acceptance and stuff like that, you're going to prevent further care. You're going to make life difficult for those who care for you. And many of you here who are caring for diabetic patients, you will know that it is so hard to say, not enough, stop, too much, not enough. Take your medicines. Have you taken your medicines? Have you taken your blood reading? What's your blood reading today? Afternoon blood reading, evening blood reading. Phew, man, to be looking after someone diabetic is like chasing a dog in the park, It is really tiring because they may not do it themselves. It affects your quality of life. And I put there interpersonal strain. Do you know that there are scientific stories to tell you that because of diabetes in the family, divorce happens. People divorce because of the fact that there's diabetes. And because of diabetes and mismanagement, people get so upset with one another, they separate and divorce. Children leave home. People get angry at home because you are in denial and not taking control of your own diabetic state. It affects relationships in a big way. It also affects friendships. The friends say, hey, come, let's go tonight. It's ladies' night, got margaritas. And then you say, no, I cannot, I'm diabetic. You all go, finish. Relationships are spoiled. Let's go for supper at 10:30. Your dinner finished at 8 o'clock. Supper at 10:30. Let's have some bakute or some nasi goreng kampong somewhere. Oh, cannot lah. Friendships get broken. Social relationships get affected too. Remember that. Of course, finally, you get all the systemic disorders. Blindness, multi-organ failure, sores, everything starts failing. And finance, money. You start worrying about the expenditure you have to get the best medicines, to see the best doctors. So please beware that if you're in denial, you are going to create a lot of problems. But let me also tell you this, denial is not all bad. If you're in denial initially, it means one thing to the psychologist. It means you got the message. Okay, you got the message and it hurts. That's really good. Second thing is, if you're busy with your lifestyle, like my parents are dying now slowly, they're surely dying. In fact, we're all dying. Depends how we're going to die. But my parents are dying and someone tells me, Paul, you got diabetes. I say, wait. Let me look after them first. So you have something more important to do. The only time denial is acceptable. Otherwise, you've got to get to it as soon as you can. One more thing about denial. Miss Maria Eric Meyer asked me just now, how long should the denial period last or acceptable? Well, some people are in denial for a year, 2 years maybe. Some people are in denial for a month. But my gauge as a clinician is if you are in denial so much so that your sugar level starts going up, that means a problem is starting already. Because if you stay in denial, it's going to get higher, and then you're going to become a victim of your own denial. Not the victim of the doctors who diagnosed you. It is yourself killing your own self, staying in denial. Now, there's a lot of stuff here. Let me run through it quickly. Am I right, Mr. Greg? Where's Mr. Greg? Am I right that they can get hold of these slides if they write to you? No, you've given your emails, right? You've given your emails. Chase them. Okay? They'd like to hear from you, definitely. Working with denial. If you know anyone in denial, or if you are in denial, just look at these very quickly. Be patient with people in denial. Wait. There's no rush till the sugar level starts going up. There's no rush yet. Very patient. Ensure that everyone has enough knowledge. Many people are in denial because they don't know enough. They don't know how serious diabetes is. Next thing is, be very careful about how you interact with, say your grandpa has just been diagnosed with diabetes, and then the grandpa is in denial. And you say, Grandpa, you got to do this, do this. No, I don't have diabetes. God will look after me, no problem. Die. Grandpa, you're doing this to me, Grandpa. You're doing this to your daughter or your granddaughter, Grandpa. You are killing us, Grandpa. You're making the families, that's emotional threats, you know. It's called blackmail. Yeah, avoid all of that. Unnecessary. It's not the best motivator at all. Denial does not mean that someone is not going to 100% follow the orders and advice of the doctors. Remember that. Denial does not mean the patient doesn't want to get better. So it's okay. You see, what I'm trying to say is denial is okay. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. But you better move on from that. Imagine this, guys. You're driving a car. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta. Traffic lights. Traffic lights come in front of you, and you see red. And you say, no, it's not red. I'll go lah. Yeah, I deny that it's red. And you carry on. You're going to have an accident. You might beat it once or twice, but sooner or later, if you keep denying the traffic light, you're going to have an accident. So similarly, you can deny for a little while, but you got to move on. If not, you're going to have a major accident. Denial does not mean you're hopeless or helpless. Denial means you need to start thinking of how to persuade and change someone's mind. Problem solving. Please remember this. All of us, diabetics or not, we all are people with a lot of emotions. And if you're given an emotion, you need to understand that if you're given a diagnosis of diabetes, you need to understand that there are emotions there. And many of us forget to deal with the emotions of the person who's just been diagnosed with diabetes. So you must please remember, this person is hurting. They've been given a shock. They've been given a life realization, wake-up call. They must be feeling very scared, man. And all you say is, take the medicine, take the medicine, take your medicine, take the blood, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. It's a terrible state to be in. Make sure, guys, make sure for those of you who work with anyone who's got diabetes, make sure you are well-equipped yourself. All of you, I'm so proud of all you because you're equipping yourself. That's why you're here. But imagine the other 425 million in the world who are not here. Huh? We need to be well-equipped ourselves to know exactly what we're talking about. What to do? Talk to your doctor. Not just any psychologist, but in this area, clinical psychologists. Express your emotions. Talk to the dietitian. Get involved with support groups. Look up on Google something called smart behavior change. This is what it looks like on Google. If you look up smart behavior change, you'll see how easy it is to change behavior slowly. And of course, don't think, my friend said this is the best way to deal with your grandma, so you apply it yourself. Everybody is different. So whenever you manage or work with someone who's diabetic, you must be very specific. This is what it looks like on the Google page. People are in denial for many reasons. Some of the reasons are perceived susceptibility. I don't think I will get diabetes at all. You know, I'm invulnerable. I cannot get it. Depends on how you perceive it. And if you know your family history, that's important to change your mind there. Perceived severity. Oh, my sugar level is only 7. You know, my friend is 12. Not so severe. Perceived benefits. What will I get if I take all these medicines? Huh? What am I going to benefit? Perceived barriers. What's preventing me from getting involved actively with my diabetic management? Action. Motivation. But there's one big thing. This. Do you know that if you believe that you cannot control your own diabetes, it's not going to work very well? If you believe that you can control it, you have the skills to control it, that's when you'll move from denial into super action. You'll become heroes who should volunteer to the Diabetes Malaysia program. This is an interesting diagram. When people want to change, they start with that place called pre-contemplation. Do I change or don't change? Do I do anything? Don't know. Maybe not. Forget it. Never mind. No, that's a nice TV program. You know, you're not really thinking about it. Finally, like you all here today, some of you are in the contemplation phase. I am thinking of changing. Thinking of doing something about it. Then we go to, how shall I do it? I'll consult the doctor. I'll attend this meeting. I'll attend this workshop. Then you'll go to action. I will do. I will do this. I will do that. And then you might maintain it. Wow, my life is improving. 1 year, the sugar level is steady and going down maybe. And then Hari Raya comes by and finish. Sugar level goes up again. So that's called relapse. But this cycle will happen again and again and again. Allow yourself, forgive yourself for being involved in this cycle. Only then you'll maintain your action. It is okay to fail. Don't think I got my sugar level down to 5 point something. Yay! Gold medal, give up. No. There's something called maintenance, okay? This is interesting. It's a very short slide. I'm going to finish now. The top half talks about how the disease progresses. Okay? There's illness, there is coping styles, and then what the outcomes are. Oh, the blood sugar is dropping, I'm feeling better, my eyesight is improving, I'm sleeping better, I'm exercising more, great. But don't forget, the bottom line is something about emotions. Always, in all behavior, there's emotion. Okay, this is what you can do about your illness. Emotion is, how do I feel? What can I do to make myself feel better? How am I managing? This, the bottom blue line, is most important for all of you. It's about your feelings of coping and taking control. Thank you very much.